Okay, welcome everyone to our week 2 Team Cup call. We are going to just get right into it and going to be hearing from myself, from Stacy Shiflett, and from Michelle Perkins about what we've been doing behind the scenes to get momentum going for the cup and just making sure that we're all on the same page with what we're doing for this month. And again, you heard me say last week that it really should not be anything different this month than we do every single month. We're just really making sure we're on it, we're staying consistent, and that we're ramping it up. So again, if you're somebody who's used to inviting 3 to 5 people a day, bump that up to 5 to 10 people a day. If you're a 5 to 10er, bump it up to 10 to 20. Whatever it is, just think of it as shooting for the moon, hitting the stars type of thing. The Team Cup purpose is not about the prizes. I'm going to say this every week. It is about gaining and creating momentum in your business. And there are certain times in the year that is possible to do at a higher level. And this is one of them. February happens to be one of the months where everybody's thinking about their health and fitness. Everybody meaning Americans, most people in this country are thinking about what damage they have caused themselves over the holiday and how they can undo that damage, but not only that, what they can do to set themselves up for this being their year. And I know we've all personally experienced that too. So I'm just going to share really quick what I've been doing, and then I'm going to hand it over to either Michelle or Stacy, whoever wants to go first. But we have talked about doing a free group. We talked about trying to stick with the main, marketing calendar for the month. And so what I've been doing is sticking with that marketing plan. So running a free group. I have a free group going right now with Stacy's suggestion of doing a 30-day group, because that has kept my sanity. I'm normally doing either a 1-week group or a 2-week group. But to not have to run that for those quick weeks and then be done with it has really, I've found that at least this month has helped me, because I'm really building relationships with these people. One of the things that I noticed is that when I have not given myself enough time to build up the excitement about the group, I notice a difference in the participation. So that being said, I don't ever want you to feel like it's too late to do something. There really is no such thing as being too late to do something in this business. And what I mean is, do something done is better than trying to do it perfectly. And then not do it. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, I already missed week 1 and I thought I was going to start my free group and I didn't do it yet, just make a plan to start it anyways. It doesn't matter if it's the 3rd week of the month, the 4th week of the month, it doesn't matter. Start it and do a free group. Do a 1-week clean eating group. Do a 2-week, buns and guns group. Do a 30-day squat and plank group like I'm doing. Whatever we have, use it to your advantage to not reinvent the wheel. So free groups are key, and we all know why. It builds your relationships with people. It's the best way that pretty much all of the coaches have found, and I've definitely personally found, to build relationships with people. It gives them value for free. It doesn't give them the pressure to make a decision about any sort of investment, and it gives them an opportunity to really get to know you, which is the point, so that they can understand who you are, what you're about. In those free groups, I really just want to touch on this really quick. Make sure that in those free groups, you are really sharing a lot about yourself. So obviously, you're going to be the best challenger in your own group. If you're not the best challenger in your group, I really can't stress this enough. You have to be the number 1 challenger in your group, because you're the leader and you're showing people what it is that you are offering. And if you're not doing your own assignments and you're not doing your own workouts, it's kind of like when Autumn, if you guys have done any of Autumn's workouts and she pauses in the middle and goes around and like coaches people, I get so bugged, because I'm like, can you stop doing the crunches at the time it gets really hard and go around and make sure everyone else is doing? Can you just finish the set and then be like, okay, that bugs me. And I realize it's because I want her to be there with me, grinding it out with me. So not that she's obviously a leader, but you get what I'm saying. So make sure you're the best challenger in the group. And also just make sure you're sharing other things that are not just fitness. So yes, obviously the food and the workouts and all that stuff, whatever it is, whatever type of group you're doing, that's great. You want to make sure they're doing that, but share other things that really go into it. You know that fitness is a mental game. So sharing mental health things that help people, whether it's just a positive quote, whether it's something that, you know, giving them, Stacy's really good about doing this too. Just giving them a random challenge, like, tell me, you know, what it is that you value about yourself, or tell me what it is that you struggle with and how you can turn that around and give yourself a positive affirmation. And then giving them examples. Just make it a well-rounded something that they can really walk away and be like, wow, I had such an awesome experience. I don't want to miss her next group. That's one of the ways you're going to really get them confident about getting into a group where they're going to get a challenge pack and have a full, you know, actual start to their health plan and transformation. So, okay, so the free group's huge. And then the other thing that I just off the cuff did was start a cleanse group. So I don't know if you guys have been seeing the post, but I posted that you guys can definitely, you know, invite to mine, or you can come into mine, see what I've done and copy what I've done and make your own group. But the 3-day refresh is, if somebody's not ready to make the investment for the All Access Challenge Pack, we really want to try to shy away from getting them to get just one program challenge pack. Not that you can't, because obviously the challenge pack for the All Access is supposed to be done at the end of this month. But if somebody's not ready to make that investment, you really want to get them involved some way. And again, we're building this business and we're earning Success Club points this month, especially pushing hard for the Success Club points. 2 points is better than no points. And I really find that getting people kickstarted with the 3-day refresh, first of all, if you guys haven't done the 3-day refresh, you need to do it so that you have a personal experience with it. It's easy, it's quick. It's not easy. It's simple and it's quick. It can be easy if that type of stuff doesn't bother you. I want to eat all the time, so I'm just like, that's all I'm getting. Okay, that's fine. But you are satisfied when you do it. If you haven't done it, definitely do it, because it gives you a quick transformation to share with people versus doing a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90-day program. It gives you a start to finish program that you can legitimately share with people that you have done. And it's something anybody can do, because it's not something that there will be restrictions unless they have some sort of dietary restrictions. I've pretty much never had anybody not be able to do the 3-day refresh. It's vegan, as long as you choose the vegan Shakeology. And so I off the cuff made this group because I thought, you know what? If people aren't going to ready to do a full fitness program and they're already in my free group, I need to have something else to give them. And so the 3-day refresh, I made a little 411, and I told them that it was open until a certain amount of time to give them the sense of urgency to get into the group. But I told them within those 2 weeks that I'm keeping it open, they can choose the 3 days they want to do it at any point in time. So then, exactly, Michelle, but it's start to finish. So 3-day refresh. So I suggest you guys do the same thing. If you want to add yourself to my group, it's called the Post Super Bowl 3-day cleanse. Find it, request to join. I'll add you. You can look around at all my posts. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to do the 3-day refresh starting Monday, and then I'm just going to do it along with them. But I don't have to do that because I've done it before. That's the one thing. You don't necessarily have to do it with them if you're doing the 3-day refresh. Every other program, you should be doing the workouts and stuff like that. And then the other thing that I've just been doing, I've been better, not perfect, but I've been a lot better about my tracking. I still am trying to get better. I realize that I get overwhelmed because I have such backlogged customers and people that I haven't put into my system yet, my Teamsy system. So I look at that, I get overwhelmed, and I'm like, let me just do it the way I was doing it. But it's definitely been better with the tracking. So if you guys are not tracking, get a simple tracking system. The Power of 3 is good. There's a business activity tracker in the back office. That's excellent. It's very detailed, but it's very good if you're somebody who really wants to be organized. It's going to show you exactly what you're doing and what you're not doing. And it gives you no gray area, so you know exactly what to work on. And I've been ramping up my invites. I know for a fact that the inviting is going to get you the most activity in terms of building momentum. So every single day I've been inviting a lot of people. Some days it's, 15 people. Some days it's 40 people. I've been And by invite, I mean either to my free group or one of my paid groups. And making sure that when people comment on anything that you do, that you're having conversations with them. So you're responding back to every comment in your challenge groups and on your pages. So when people like something, you're reaching out to them, you're making a note to reach out to them and either thank them for their support or just see how they're doing and start that connection with them. Those are the things, nothing different than what we've already talked about, but those are the things that I've been doing, that I've been finding success with. Today, by the end of tonight, I should be Success Club 9, hopefully. And my goal for the month is 30. So I still have a long way to go to get to my goal. However, I'm every day just plugging along. And if you haven't had one Success Club point right now, it doesn't matter. It's how the end of the month, it's how the month ends. So just keep staying consistent, having the conversations, making the connections, doing the groups. This is a lot of work. If you are feeling like, this is not something that I'm used to doing, it should make you uncomfortable. This is part of growing to the next level. You have to be uncomfortable. If you're doing this and you're feeling like, I got this, and I don't mean confidence-wise, I mean like, it's not phasing me. It's kind of like when you're lifting 10 pounds and you need to bump it up to 12, or you need to bump it up to 15. You should be uncomfortable. And if you're not, then figure out what it is that you're not doing and start doing that. And that's really all it is I found every gap in my business is a lack of activity in some way. So that's really it. So I want to leave time for Michelle and Stacy to share what they're doing. And then if you guys have questions, that's why we're here. Stacy said, I will do once I'm done nursing. Marcia, did you hear? Okay. All right.
All right. You want me to go then?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So some of the things I've been doing, if you guys are on my team, I do things, and if they don't work, I figure something else out, right? Everything is figure outable. And if you try something and it doesn't work, you try something else. So that's kind of what I'm always implementing. And I think that Demetria, Stacey, and I are in the elite mastermind group. So we're learning lots of cool things in there that we're trying to implement and then bring back to you guys as well. So there's so many things that we're really trying to work on and kind of hone in on those skills to really benefit our teams going forward. So I think one thing that's super important is the marketing plan. I haven't followed this in my business up until now, but I sat down and I printed out like free calendars online, and I printed out the whole year. So I'm planning everything out. Okay, this week is going to be my free group. This week is my paid group. And I'm going to plan it out like as we go through the whole year so I can know what's coming. I know what I'm inviting to, because when we don't know what we're inviting to, then we don't invite, right? If we don't have that set date, then we just, okay, maybe I'll invite to a free group, or we're just confused. We don't really know what to invite to. And when there's too much flexibility, and our flexibility is great, but when there's too much flexibility, we tend to procrastinate and I don't have anyone interested, so I'm not going to invite, and I don't want to just get one person, so I'm just going to get nobody. You know what I mean? And we push it off to the next month and the next month, and then we don't see success in our groups. So the marketing calendar, I think it's a great tool to use. Free group, first week of the month. I'm doing a paid group the 3rd to 4th week of the month, depending on how that month is. And then I'm also going to implement that we learned in our Elite Mastermind group is Bonnie Engel does a sneak peek every single week. So I'm going to start implementing that as well. I feel like part of my calling is not just challenge groups. I think I kind of suck at them, to be quite honest. They're not like my forte. But I feel like my calling is to really help coaches be successful. And that's what I want to do. I want to help people, obviously, with their fitness, their health, and their finances. So I really want to really focus on the recruiting factor, getting people in, helping them get that transformation, then helping them get other people transformations, and kind of pay it forward that way. What else do I have? I decided for my March group, which is actually going to start the last week of February, I'm going to do a Biggest Loser competition. I haven't even seen that on TV for like the longest time. So I think it'll be a cool thing to put out there. I'm in the process of putting all my stuff together for it, but I haven't seen it on TV in a long time. So I'm going to put it out there, ask people like, oh my gosh, have you seen it? I haven't seen it either, but I'm going to do my own. And this is actually what I used to do before Beachbody, before Demetria was like, why are you not a coach? I used to do them on my own anyway. So now I'm just going to do that, but with the All Access Pass. So Shakeology, the On Demand, and then obviously I'm going to recommend Energize as well, because that's one of my favorite things. Going live has been huge. So I've tried to switch one of my weekly sneak peeks going to be. They are going to be, so I'm going to do every Monday. And I'm going to do one for a whole team, and then some I'm going to do privately as well. So there's going to be a mix of both of those. So I'll let you know those dates. Going live. I've been moving all my stuff to my like page. So I'm trying to get away from my personal page to get people to start following me on my like page. I just went through and invited all my new friends to go and like my page. I'm going live on that page. I went live and said, oh, what's for dinner? And so just so people can see me and get my personality, my free group, I went live in there. I threw in Shakeology at the end of it, like not on purpose, but not on accident. You know what I mean? And then it got people asking about it. So that generated a ton of conversations for me yesterday. Let's see, I'm working on telling my story. We need to tell our story because that's how people relate to us. And that's why people are going to come to us instead of another Beachbody coach. There's Beachbody stuff all over the internet everywhere. People are coming to work with us for us, not for the products. They want to be with us. And so I had a conversation with a prospect just the other day. We've been conversating back and forth, and she's like, I have a lot of Beachbody friends, but she's like, I relate to your story. I relate to your before story. And I sat here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not telling my story enough. I suck at it, blah, 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 blah. But she has seen my story. She has followed it. I've talked to her before. And so she wants to work with me, and those are the relationships that make this business fun, because there are times in this business where, it becomes a job and it becomes a chore, right? So we have to remember why we're passionate about it, why we love what we do, and really enjoy what we're doing and connect with our people, and not focus on all the other stuff. I just feel like being able to focus on building these relationships like Demetria was talking about really helps us in our business. It's going to help with the customer retention. It's going to help with building our tribes. It's going to help them get results, because I noticed that I have people who will buy a challenge pack and then they'll fall off. And I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Like, I want to help you. And then nothing. It's because we don't really, we might have had a relationship at some point, but they don't feel close to me. And so I'm not really helping them get results. I think that's it. I think more so for my business right now, I'm really trying to find that secret sauce. I want this to be no-brainer. Like, I taught body pump. I went to a body pump class. I set it up. This is what our class is. This is the weights you need to use. We went through class and like boom, 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 boom. I could do it. Like in the beginning, it was hard, but by the end, like it just rolled off. Like I knew it. And that's what I want my business to be. I want it to be like Monday morning. I know what I got to do. I got to invite to my sneak peek, or I got to, you know what I mean? I'm really trying to find that secret sauce. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Does that help?
Yes, very much. And I have to just say one thing, what I think about secret sauce, because you guys know in terms of being successful in this business, there is no secret sauce. It's the successful people do the fundamentals better. And all that means is they practice them over and over and over. But I think with what Michelle's saying is, you do have to find your groove, because you are not the next coach. So what works for me may not work for Michelle. What works for me may not work for Stacy. And so by practicing the fundamentals and constantly staying in phase one, constantly staying in the 4 vital behaviors and following the vital process, those things are really going to give you the foundation to figure out what your jam is as a coach. Well, how, sneak peeks don't work for me, but live opportunity calls do. Or, I want to do a self-paced training. I don't want to do a training every month. Or I like 1 week groups. I don't want to do a 30-day free group. Whatever it is, you won't know that without constantly moving forward and trying over and over and over again, and you'll figure out your groove. All we're going to do is tell you what works for you, but you're your own CEO. So you can pick and choose. You know what? I'm going to stick with the fundamentals. Those things you don't change, but you figure out, this is how I'm going to be able to duplicate success based on my personality, based on what I know I can help my team in the best way. So
when you find your tribe, what you're doing really works for them as well.
Yes.
Right. And one of the big things in the Elite Mastermind group, one of the biggest things that they keep saying is you need to be you. And this other training with Jesse Reagan that we're all doing as well, same thing. You need to be you. Like, there's Beachbody products everywhere. People are going to come because of you. So be authentically you. And then it's not going to be work. It's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it because you're being you. You're being real.
Okay. Stace, I want to make sure you have time to talk.
Yeah. Basically all the same things that you guys are doing too. I'm really the big thing that Michelle was saying, and you, Demetria, was you have to be you. So I think for me, some of the hard parts were if I go and view another coach, I might try to piggyback off of what they're doing instead of an idea from them and then using it in my own creative way. I'm really trying to focus on, I have my free group going, which is the 1 month, and I like that a lot because it gives me more time to build a relationship and reach out. So I'm not just going like, hey, you're here for 15 days, see you, peace out, I'm done, you know. Reaching out to them every time if somebody does like a little, hey, just so you know, thought you did great today in the free group. Just another little love push right there to let them know that I actually care. With my main page, my personal Facebook page, I'm really trying to get more people to be involved in my page. I'm asking a lot of questions like in the afternoon geared towards women. Like, hey, my daughter's sick with a fever. What do you guys recommend? Boom, I can start a conversation really quickly with those people and we can just talk. Like one post I said was, hey, if you press play today, what was your workout? If you took the stairs or you walked further from the car to your office, what did you do? Boom, conversation started rolling. As long as I'm keep engaging in conversations, I feel like they're getting to me. I'm breadcrumbing my coaching opportunities. I'm breadcrumbing that I love Shakeology. I'm breadcrumbing that this is my lifestyle. And I think I'm getting a little bit better at that and a little more sharp on that. And I think you all can tell when you do a post because, holy crap, it's 1 o'clock, I forgot to post, you might get 2 likes. You know what I mean? And then you might get a really good, genuine post, and you're going to get 53 likes with, 10 comments down the road. You want to really, and write the notes down. Okay, I got really good notes from this today because I asked this question. Write them down. Be observant of your page. I think that's a huge, major thing. And like I was telling with Demetria, just try to be as genuine as you can with your people. New, old, whoever. I started doing the Zoom call meetings in my challenge groups, and Marsha and I were doing that one, and it was awesome last Sunday. Like it was the most people I ever had. I wasn't talking to myself anymore. It was awesome, and it was cool. And the sad part was it didn't record, but it doesn't matter. But I do a lot of like, I'll pop into my free group and go, hey, who wants a bonus point? Go to my like page and look at my workout video that I just posted, do that bonus, and then post it to your page. So I'm kind of getting like, I'm trying to cycle myself onto people's pages. So they'll do a challenge, they get extra credit for it, I'm getting myself out on their page. See what I mean? Use them, surprise them. Got a bonus for you real quick. Jump on and do 10 jumping jacks and like my Facebook or like my like page and get 75 extra points. Do it. If you have a upcoming coaching opportunity or an upcoming sneak peek, take that invite, post it into your free group and say, hey, for 75 extra points, please share this to your page if you can. Do something, use it. Use what you need to build your business with your free groups. Use them. Use them for bonus points. Get a free card and say, hey, I got $10 to Panera, the first person to do whatever it is you need to think about doing. Put it out there and then put it in the mail and then celebrate them on their page. Use them, but you love them at the same time. So you got to get real creative with those juices. But I think the main thing for me has been staying consistent on my coaching opportunities, staying consistent with Team Z, staying consistent on getting very creative with my posts, but very therapeutic at the same time for me. Because I notice when they're therapeutic, they're good. And people respond back to me. And that also makes me feel more real as a person. So you kind of get a win-win situation. Be real for you in your post, and then you won't feel like you're trying to sell it all the time because you're actually doing a little something for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, preach. That's the best thing. Michelle and I had a conversation about this, how sometimes we get stuck in this mode where we're like, oh, what should I post so that it's inspiring? And, you're always somehow thinking about like the edited version. I was telling her I used to keep a diary and a journal. And then at one point I thought, oh my gosh, what if somebody found this? And then I felt not comfortable anymore. And all of a sudden I was writing in my journal, but I was like writing the edited version of what I actually wanted to say. And it's like, wait a minute, this is my journal. And so I think we do that on Facebook sometimes because we're thinking, well, what's this person going to think? And what about if this person reads it, she's going to think I'm trying to say this, or and you really just have to almost write it like you're writing a diary, but you're just snippets and whatever. And obviously appropriate. You're not going to be sharing everything, but at the same time, you're being you, because it will really make everybody who doesn't relate to you fall off. And that's what you want. It's not rejection. That is what you want. Because you don't want this to be work. You don't want it to be like, you know, I have to be in perfect shape and I have to be, that's not, if you're ripped and you have a six pack, okay, you're appealing to some people who need that, you know, but if you're a fit-ish mom like me, it's like, I'm attracting a lot of fit-ish people, you know, people who maybe don't care if they ever have a six pack, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's not about just the health and fitness. You really want to, make sure you're talking, like Stacy said, if it's speaking to you. I don't know how many of you listen to Joyce Meyer, but she says this probably every single time she does a talk. She says, well, if this isn't for you, that's okay. I'm preaching to myself, because she always talks about what she needs to hear. And I feel like when you do that, it's like Stacy said, it's not work. You're not thinking about, is this going to inspire? Is this going to be creative? Is this going to motivate people to action? Is this going to, you know, it will, because they'll relate to you and they'll be like, if you're feeling down, they'll be like, oh my gosh, girl, I know, me too. And you're not like, you don't feel like you have to create content. You're just documenting what's going on in your brain and putting it in a creative way, because you are a business owner. You have to think about how you post things. That's where the 2% of the business is the skill level, right? It's like you got to learn how to do Facebook posts and make it pretty. You don't want a blurry picture and, you know, all those other things. But the technique part of it is not what makes your business. It's you. So it's really just being you. So I had to agree with you, Stacy. I know we're running like 3 minutes late for our team call. Does anybody have any questions about anything?
Michelle was asking more about, about breadcrumbing. When you guys are breadcrumbing in your posts, sometimes you don't want to start off your post. I can tell that I don't get a lot of hits if I'll go like, had a great workout today or whatever. They're gonna be like, it actually goes again with that 21-day fix crap. You know what I mean? So if you slowly, like, for example, tonight, I posted a picture of me and Ryan. Now, my son is not legitimately not feeling good. However, I started it off saying, like, you know, poor Kinsey was sick. Now Ryan's feeling sick. We're both, and then I kind of went a little bit on Ryan. And I said, you know, both of us are sitting here sweaty. His is from a slight fever. Mine is from a great workout. You know what I mean? So we both legitimate. That was a little breadcrumb. You know what I mean? I said, you know, it's really important now with the germ season still in high effect that I press play, especially in the month of February, where people can get germs like crazy. You know, and I just kind of put it in there towards the middle. Some are going to finish scrolling down. Try not to make it the top thing in your post. Kind of make it like 3 or 4 sentences down. You know what I mean? And then kind of put it in there that way, because, and if you base it on your kids, and you base it on food, and you base it on, you know, the love of you and your husband, perfect.
Yeah. Because people, they love you, but they don't want to hear about you all day.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I can post one picture of me and my husband. I mean, because people see my face all the time. They're like, right. Okay. But it's like one thing, Michael can be, I'm telling you, he could be like in the background, his arm, and people are like, oh, you know, I mean, because they really want to see your life. They want it to relate to them and not just be great, good for you, great, good for you. And not that people are hating, you know, some people, yes, but it's like, no, they're happy for you. But it's just like when you hear Beyonce's voice on the radio all the time, you're like, please play another song. I'm not trying to hear that again. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's like, you just have to, you know, breadcrumb is so important. Stacey, you're very good at the breadcrumbing.
I think another good breadcrumbing thing to you guys, and I'm looking at I'm keeping track of the time here. For coaching, do a lot of coaching breadcrumbing. Like, for example, I'm going to do one, I think tomorrow or Saturday, where we just got some new shutters put on. But legitimately, My mom paid for some of it. I'm going to go look at my, a before and after picture of my doors, and I'm going to put, didn't have to pay for Christmas, gift card from Christmas, Beachbody, and extra time at work. So boom, I put it in there. It's a real thing. It's true. And it gave me extra money to pay it off, so I didn't have to scrounge around for extra, paycheck money.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it that way too. And it's legitimately, I paid, I think $184 of Beachbody money went towards the remaining balance of the door. So it's a real story,
Yep. And if to that, I would just say too, because I know in the beginning, if you're just starting to build your business and you don't have income yet, the biggest thing that I did was I did talk about other people's income. I did. I was like, okay. And I got a first check almost right away because I signed my husband up right away. So if you're a coach and you have a spouse and you have that option, just get them signed up. You get some of the money back because you get commission for it because they're under you, and then you get it back. It goes all in the same house, but I talked about other people's successes too. So if you don't know how to do that, there's tons and tons of examples. Mm-hmm. YouTube it. We have stuff in PFE. Just talk about little things. And the thing that Christina Delgado, I love that she talks about this a lot, because now obviously she's uber successful, especially with her income and all that. But she's like, you become less relatable, because if you're a brand new person who doesn't know much about this business, and it's like, oh, I quit my job as a lawyer, people are going to be like, good for you. Like, I can't relate to that. I have no intention of quitting my job. I'm a dental hygienist. Like, I just finished school. I don't want to quit my job. They may be like, whoa, that's way too much, but if you're earning, an income and it's helping, like Stacey said, it's paying for part of my, household upgrades, and that's relatable. That's everyday things that people do, and that you're like, yes, oh my gosh, someone gave us, my parents paid for, like last year, my mother-in-law paid for my son's summer camp, or most of it. And
a week of daycare, a car seat. I mean, who cares? If it's $65, it's $65 that didn't come out of your other spending account. To me, I love that.
You're not trying to impress people. You're not trying to tell people, you're just really whatever you would relate to. Yes, the bigger incomes are inspirational, and it shows people what's possible. That's important to let them know. Yeah. But in terms of them relating to you, you don't have to pretend you're some uber successful coach, financially, for people to relate to you. Right. I mean, that's not how this works. They won't relate to you, because if you're pretending to be something you're not, or you feel like you have to, then you're going to struggle and you're going to feel like this is a chore. So you definitely want to just focus on being you. All right, this is going to get cut off. We have to do team call, and my MacBook is dying. So in between, I'm going to put my plug back in. But if you guys have questions, you can. Oh, and I wanted, Megan, I didn't want to blow over what you wrote about your diary. Yes, yes, that your mom and sister read your diary. That's awful. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it can paralyze you, because you feel like, okay, everybody knows my innermost thoughts and secrets, and I don't want them to know that, or I don't want them to judge me. It's constantly the fear of judgment. And guess what? People are going to judge you anyways. You can be perfect, and somebody's going to be mad at that too. So it doesn't matter. They're going to judge you. Bye. The ones that you need will stay around. Trust me. They'll
talk regardless. They'll talk regardless, good or bad. When that door closes, we talk about that at work all the time, in a hair salon especially. I'm like, how many of y'all are going to talk about me when you close the door? Go ahead. Go ahead, you little gossip queen.
Yep.
It happens.
All right. If whoever's jumping on, see you in a bit. If not, the call's going to be recorded too, so I'll post it tomorrow. All right. We will see you next week. Team Cup. Let's get our Success Club points. Let's do this.
Bring it.
Bye.
Bye.